Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to this LinkedIn live session powered by Leadway. I think I'm just the only one here, so I'll just be smiling and waiting for you all to join. So we'll be talking money. Basically creating wealth using our salaries. That's what we'll be discussing today. And I have two amazing guests to discuss it with me. So I'm just buying time, waiting for everyone to join. So if you can hear me, how are you doing? How is your day? No, it's just past one. So how's your day going? Hope you're having a good day. Da, 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 da. Okay, we have about 40 people here, so we can just start. My name is Moyosoreoluwa. I head the brands and communications unit of Leadway Pension PFA, and today I'll be your host. This is a LinkedIn live session. You already know this. It is powered by Leadway. You can see the logo there. Okay. Thank you for joining. Today we'll be talking how to create wealth from your monthly salary. Is it possible? Can you have a 9 to 5 and still create wealth out of it? So to help us discuss this, to shed more light on this, with me is Peter OLAWOLE. Peter OLAWOLE is a seasoned salesman. He is the regional manager of the Lagos State Customer Relationship Management Department of Leadway Pension PFA, and that's Peter. Also discussing how we can pivot from 9 to 5 to having a lot of money of KPK standards. I'll invite Collins Uzenabor. I hope I pronounced that properly. Collins is a money-making enthusiast. He is the head institutional sales for Leadway Asset Management. He likes money, he knows about money, and is going to be discussing money with us today. Thank you for joining us, Peter. Thank you for joining us, Collins.
Thank you, Moya. Thank you.
Thank you, Moya. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so I already posted before you guys joined about how you're going to teach us how we can go from 9 to 5 to making wealth, and so you have to deliver. So let's just jump right into it. Almost everybody joining here has a 9 to 5, has done a 9 to 5 and has some money, or has a 9 to 5, has done some 9 to 5, or has a business. Let's just put it that way. And we all have maybe disposable income, but everybody wants to, blow recklessly and excessively. We need to make money, And so we're here to learn how to make wealth from our 9 to 5. But is that even possible? One. So, Peter, do you even think it's possible to grow your 9 to 5 so much so that you become wealthy? Do you think it's possible? Is it doable?
Thank you, Moyo. Thank you, audience, for joining in. I absolutely believe it's possible. It's a function of how you define your financial goals. I think that is actually the starting point. You need to, define exactly what your financial horizon should look like. If we have to take a cue from Elizabeth Warren, who believes that we should apply the 50-30-20 rule in terms of budgeting and applying our finances. If we actually apply that rule and we take it up very seriously and we are committed and disciplined, I absolutely believe we are going to, achieve financial success. 50% is speaking to, our needs. These are key things we need. Water, shelter, electricity, food. Okay, 50% of our income is recommended should go into that bucket. While 30% goes into our wants. Our wants are actually, our wish list, our desires. They are not extremely important, but they are things that we actually, desire to have. While 20% goes into our savings and investment portfolio. So if we're able to apply this rule, we start to look at our income after tax and start to, apportion this income based on these percentages. We can actually tweak this depending on our financial position. I totally believe that, yes, along the line, over the period of time, especially if we are starting investment early, and also with the law of compounding returns, we definitely will achieve, financial success and wealth.
Okay, so the first thing is to start early. If we start early, we can grow from 9 to 5 to become wealthy. That's nice. But then, what is even wealth, or what can we define wealthy as? How much money or asset makes someone fit the wealthy being? Collins, please help us here. How much money do I have before I see myself, or how much, or what kind of assets do I have if I see myself as a wealthy person?
Well, thank you, Muyo, and thank you everyone for having us. Um, in truth, you do not become wealthy except you can sit back and your money is working for you. So you
Mhm.
find that a lot of people, they go to work every day, which is good, but the challenge is that they live from paycheck to paycheck. And I understand the challenge where people say the money is never enough, but in truth, the money, if you earn 50,000 naira, you could as well have been earning 40,000 naira. So assume you're earning for 40,000 naira when you earn 50,000 naira, and ensure that 10,000 naira is used to develop your personal life in sense of either your business or a passive investment that will give you returns when you don't have the ability to actively work. So at that point, you're at the place of seeming wealth, and wealth is relative because not every one of us can be in government. Not every one of us can actually be the CEO of a company, but if you have disciplined yourself enough to ensure that a part of your income or your salary or your business revenue is kept aside in a passive investment or something else that you are passionate about that is able to earn you returns, then at some point in your life, you know that you have a buffer. I call it a financial war chest that can keep you, going even without having to work every day.
Okay, people, I just learned two things or three things. Start early. Wealth is when you can relax and your money is working for you. And there's something called a financial war chest. To build your financial war chest, you have to have been saving some incomes and investing some income and investing them passively. We just started and we're already dropping gems. We're dropping gems. Okay, so now we understand what wealth is. Um, we understand that we should assume that or the mindset thing that you mentioned, Colin. So if you make 50K, just assume or work like or act like you make 40K so that you have 10,000 naira that you can invest in things and then passive income. But I want to believe that there's a budget, there's a formula. There should be a financial allocation formula for salary earners. I want to believe that there is, and can you help us shed more light on this? How can we allocate what goes to the needs, what goes to investments? And you have to agree with me that there's something called emergency funds because life happens, right? And you will need money to deal with life when it happens. So, is there a formula that we can use for our salary? If there is, tell us about it. And if there are percentages that can be allocated to what, let's know it.
Okay, thank you.
Collins,
Thank you. So, there isn't one size that fits all. Because if I say 5% of your salary, or 5% of your income, because for a lot of people, it may not just be only salary that earns them their monthly revenue or monthly income. So I may not necessarily put a formula to it. I would say, what is that thing that you are comfortable about that you can set aside? Some people say, oh, I have responsibility that takes my entire income. But I want to disabuse that mindset by saying that, God forbid, you are only alive by God's grace, and you can as well not be earning any income anyways. So it is that amount you are comfortable about. For some people, it is 5%. For some people, it is 10% of your salary that you are able to set aside to either put in an investment, or you are able to put in an active business that is able to fetch you certain level of income that you can put in an investment. I'll take that again. It is either you're a business person and you want to take 10% of your income and you invest that 10% of your income in your business. That business obviously will generate certain amount of money, which you can then put in a passive investment like the money market fund, or you can use to increase your additional voluntary contribution in your pension. So if you are a business person, yes, you can set aside money to build your passion, your active passion. Otherwise, if you have not thought of a business to do on the side, or to drive your passion, you can in the moment invest that fund in a passive investment, like your either your AVC, additional voluntary contribution, or a money market fund that preserves your principal. And then when you are ready, after you have curated that idea, you can take that lump sum as your initial capital to start. So it's not one side that fits all. It's something that you have discovered your passion, and you believe that however small, you can work towards making your passion a reality.
Okay, so what I hear you say is not one size fits all, but then there's the role where you have to play as an individual to say, I want to do this, and then work towards doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
interesting thing you mentioned is AVC, additional voluntary contribution. Um, I heard that for the first time last year. I want to believe that there are a lot of people that do not know what that is. And so I'm going to defer to Peter now. Peter, please, what is AVC? How can we use this AVC to grow our 9 to 5 into wealth? Please explain that to us.
All right, thank you, Mario. AVC is actually the extra savings we make. We all know that we have the mandatory contribution, which is actually 8% coming from the employee, 10% coming from the employer, as actually stipulated by law. So we are saying that that is just the baseline. We have people who actually have the capacity to do more than the mandatory 8%. Some people can actually do 10, some can do 15. So that extra that comes, okay, into your pension account is what is called AVC, additional voluntary contribution. The beauty about the AVC is that it is flexible. It is flexible in the sense that you can decide to say, this is the specific amount I can commit to on a monthly basis. There are actually no fixed amounts for you to pay in terms of AVC. You can start off at a particular time, a month. You can go ahead and start making contributions on a monthly basis, or bi-monthly, or quarterly basis. You can tweak the amount. At some point, you might think, oh, right now I have enough financial capacity. I want to increase my monthly AVC. At some point, you might think, oh, I have some financial commitments and I cannot, cope with the current monthly AVC payment. You can reduce it at no penalty. It's extremely flexible. But the AVC must actually pass through your payroll, must pass through your employer, because all funds that are coming into the pension scheme must be traceable. And the benefit of making that passing through your pay is that you enjoy tax rebates. And it's also another way for you, to enjoy tax relief. You feel you are paying too much taxes, you can use AVC to reduce that aspect. AVC does not also have to be from your monthly salary. You have, bonuses, you have profit share from your organization, you have your 13th month payments. All those other, box sum can be plowed into AVC. And, the AVC also enjoy the same returns on investment as the mandatory contribution. In terms of transparency, you can, at a regular, intervals, check what you have in your AVC ports. We have different platforms where people can check their AVC contribution, the returns on investment. We have mobile apps, we have chatbots, we have our website. So in terms of transparency and looking at the performance of how this particular product is performing, you can track that. Trust me, a lot of people have, what I call loose funds or idle funds. The danger in keeping those loose funds is that they are not working, they are not generating any returns for you. If you put into a paper what you pay in terms of some other expenses we incur on a daily basis, it will surprise you how much you can save extra in terms of additional voluntary contribution. And right now, if you look at the trend of what we have seen in the pension industry, we see that a lot of people really cannot meet up with their lifestyle while they are actively working. So the AVC will help you to augment your retirement savings account so that you can live your preferred lifestyle at retirement and also ensure that you enjoy a comfortable retirement. So that is just to give a brief rundown about AVC. Thank you.
Okay, so AVC is additional voluntary contribution. AVC is tax-free. And then you can actually dictate how much and how often you add to your pensions pensions fund with AVC. So monthly, quarterly, once in 2 months, and all of that. Okay, thank you very much. And then because of the interest on it, which is the same as your pensions fund, you can also make a lot of money. So while this is fantastic, right? We have the AVC on top of the RSA account, our pension funds, that we know that we cannot access at all until we retire. But we want to create funds we want to become wealthy, not until we retire, you get. So is there a way that we can access our AVC, right, before that time, so that, again, you said it is loose funds, right? We've said to put it in AVC. AVC will grow it for a period. Can we now take it and do what Collins said, which is invest in money markets and all those things? So is there a process? Can you enlighten us?
Okay, yes. Thank you for that question. We have a process in place. There's also flexibility in regards to contingent requirements or requests that can be met using AVC. But even at that, there's actually a benchmark. All contributions that have stayed for 2 years in your AVC pot, 50% of that can be assessed. Okay, so we are saying that yes, if you have contributed all contributions that are coming into your AVC that have stayed for 2 years, you can assess 50% of that. The remaining 50% have to be tied into your retirement savings account to when you actually retire. Okay, now the major reason for that is that the goal is to ensure that we actually contribute and augment our retirement savings account, especially at the point of retirement, so that whatever we have to fall back to is convenient for us to maintain our usual lifestyle that we are used to while we are actively working. So that platform gives us avenue to assess part of our AVC. So in terms of, we can use that as contingent plan. Okay, you have a target savings, you want to meet up with a particular project, and you think, oh, let me achieve this in the next 2 years. You can actually use AVC to achieve that particular goal. And of course, we have what we call a lifestyle calculator. So the lifestyle calculator just enables you and helps you to check and looking at your current pension contribution, and you feel by the time you are retired, you want to start any XYZ amount as your pension. And looking at what you are contributing right now, it will not enable you to achieve that goal. So this lifestyle calculator will help you calculate, simulate, and project the additional contributions you need to make to be able to achieve that particular lifestyle.
Okay, so
Yeah.
to know what kind of life you need after you retire, there's a lifestyle calculator. It's called SureCal.
Yeah.
So people go check SureCal out on Leadway Pensions page and calculate how much more you need to contribute to get the retirement of your dreams. However, with ABC, additional voluntary contribution, you have tax-free savings that you can use to enjoy a life of comfort. There is a plus side though. You can also use this as a target savings account because you have to keep both. However, you have to keep money there for 2 years before you can access 50% of it. I hope people are doing the math like I'm doing the math. If I'm keeping 10k or let me up it up. Let me keep 20k every month. At the end of the year, I have 240. At the end of 2 years, I have 480. I can now take 240 and then do what Collins have asked us to do. Collins, you have to discuss this investment now because I have a goal of 240 bare minimum in another 2 years that I can use it for. But how do we go about investments? What can we invest in? I have heard it said that the best way to invest is to have a mix of investments. Right. I'm a 9 to 5 farm. I'm focusing on my work. I'm focusing on my life. How do I know what the LD mix so that somebody will not take my money and I'll not be telling stories that touch that. So let us understand what are the things that 9 to 5ers can invest in that are safe and secure. And okay, we know that it's nice to have a mix. What LD mix works? What are those things? Collins, please.
Thank you so much. In truth, there are different asset classes that a working class person can invest in. And I'll quickly mention them. You can actually invest in, and you can invest looking at the peculiar situation of this country. You can actually have some of your funds in foreign currency, not because currency isn't good enough, but just because there are times that you need things that are bought out from outside the country. There are things that you probably just prefer to shop for outside this country, or things that you want to access outside this country. Of course, you wouldn't be using um, you will be using the naira to pick to invest in these things. Now, you can actually have a portion of, say, maybe 20 or 30% of your investment in a foreign currency, and you have another percentage of it, maybe 20% in naira. Now, the investment in foreign currency, you can invest it in a dollar mutual fund, or a dollar retail fund, which we can actually help you do here at Leadway. On the naira side, you are able to also invest in a naira mutual fund. Now, it is essential that you look at these things as very, very strategic investments. Why? Because the kind of return you will earn on a dollar mutual fund and a naira mutual fund, you probably wouldn't be able to earn it while sitting redundantly in an account. So, what a typical asset management firm does, or what we at Leadway Asset Management does, is that we are able to take your funds, pull it together with other people's funds, and then invest it in secure assets to preserve your principal. Now, in all of this, people are saying, but the kind of returns don't match up to the inflation around town. Yes, but while you are thinking of that business that is risky, that you have not 100% evaluated, what you typically should do is to ensure that the funds is doing something for you, earning a certain return, whereby as soon as you're ready to do that business in the real sector, whether it's agriculture, whether it's tailoring, or whether it's styling people's hairs, you have that money to take from a secure place. Now you will ask me, why do I have to do dollar? Why do I have to do naira? The truth is that on the FX side, you see that there are certain forms of devaluation that has happened over the years, not by your own doing, but because of the macroeconomic challenges that we face as a country. However, why are you still saying we should keep money in naira? Because that is what you spend in anyways. So you need to have a balance of the two. Now, in your waiting period, you get to ensure that your funds on a monthly basis is going directly, either through a direct debit, into your dollar investment or into your naira investment. And at the end of the day, you're able to take those funds and do whatever you need to do. Now, there's also the power of compounding interest that can help you. Also, do not take away from the fact that, as for some young people, they may want to do equity investment. They want to say, you know what, I'm looking at, you need to engage an asset management firm to advise you on the right equity or stocks to buy. And that we have the expertise to do here at Leadway Asset Management. So all of these are areas that you can impute your funds while you are thinking of that big idea that you want to fund, that big idea in the real sector that you want to fund.
So
So
people, if you have your big idea and you just have funds left, Collins has given us the formula. We are going to invest in naira. We are going to invest in dollars as well, right? And then we are going to take we are going to watch our investment grow as we continue with our 9 to 5. You just be smiling as if Shakpa is beating you, but you know that you have a long-term plan for your big idea. Collins is an evil man, so he knows these things. Anyways, I know that a lot of information is going around and you can be overwhelmed. So yes, we are going to be able to reach Collins and Peter later, because I have to have these conversations with them as well. We're going to be able to reach them later to have these conversations with them. And then you can send a DM to at Leadway Penshaw or at Leadway, and somebody will definitely take your questions, find them, and then you get your response or the needed response. But we're still talking money, we're still talking investment, right? And we're talking how to grow our 9 to 5 to wealth, because we all have to grow recklessly. So we have talked about investing, and they say the LD mix is to do naira and dollars, because naira because you spend in dollars, you spend in naira rather, dollars or FX because that's the world currency, and it makes sense to be able to have a little bit of that. So Collins, you're going to shed more light on this now. You said something that we can do it at eBay. So are there products? How do we go about it? Are there products that can help us, and how do we go about it? Or there particular products? Okay, I want to invest in this product. You get, are there products tied to these investments that you've mentioned? If they are, tell us what they are, so that we're already enlightened and we know what to ask for by the time we come calling at Leadway Asset Management.
okay, thank you, Moyo. In At this time, we we are looking to launch our mutual fund, our dollar and naira mutual fund, in the minimum within a period of 90 days. But within that 90 days, we are able to collect funds into a feeder investment. So what we typically are saying is that if you have a minimum of $1,000, or a minimum of, you are able to invest in our dollar investment from the beginning of next month. And if you have 250,000 naira, you're able to invest in our naira feeder investment, and in another 90 days, we're able to sweep all of that investment into our registered mutual fund that is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So this is basically, of course, for the retail clients. Now, for high net worth individuals, we're already investing for high net worth individuals anyways. And the high net worth individuals who are able to earn as much as 10 to 15% in dollars, for those who are able to take the kind of risk, who are high risk investors, But we will share our contact so that we can have that discussion more elaborately. For high net worth individuals, we also invest for corporates who have funds coming in every day, and that money they are waiting to restock their inventory in the next 30 days. Now, within that 30 days, those monies that come in, what are you using it for? What return is it making for you, as a corporate? So yes, these are the three categories of clients that we service. We service corporates. For corporates that have huge Naira inflows, we're able to help you invest it. For high net worth individuals who are looking for opportunities in dollars, we're able to help you manage portfolios. For retail clients, especially working class like all of us, um, your salaries can never be enough. So you need to put monies aside, no matter how small, to fund your dream as you go along. Whether it's a dream you want to materialize in the next 2 to 3 years, start setting fund aside. If you talk to us, we're able to give you a projection of how much you can put aside to be able to actualize or have that capital you're looking at in 2 years. So yes, whether in dollars or in Naira, we're able to help you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Collins. So please let's just focus on us 9 to 5 hours. Yeah. So there are feeder investment models for us, and those feeder investments will now go into the main one. Can we know what the return on investment for the feeder investment is, so that April 1st is tomorrow? We can quickly decide to quickly take the money we've been keeping together, the one that Peter described as idle funds, and quickly
Mm.
put it in this. So let's say we have, you said $1,000. Let's say we have $1,000 sitting somewhere, and let's say we have 250,000 naira. What's the ROI for those different money class?
Okay, so at this time, Moyo, so I don't take your time. At this time, if you have your dollars sitting in an account, what you will typically earn is probably 0.01%.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is highly negligible, probably in cents, But with a mutual fund, a dollar mutual fund or a feeder fund that we're encouraging you all to invest in, you should be able to earn between the range of 4 to 6% annually, and that's because we're able to ingeniously invest the collected funds. Now, on the Naira side, you should be able to earn also around 7%, 7 to 9% in Naira at this time. At this time, if that fund is sitting doing nothing, you will earn probably 0.5%. So these are things that we're able to help you do. And the truth is that if you are standalone and you don't come together for us to pull you with other investors, you may not have the advantage of earning this type of returns because you are standalone. So when we pull all funds together, what typically happens is that we have the negotiating powers in all of these places where we can invest the funds. And mind you, we're also very careful to ensure that your principal is protected. So yes, these are the
Okay.
reasons
So
that
safe
we're
investment,
looking at.
principal protected is the key word. Then when I heard 7% like this, a light bulb went up in my head. 7%. Okay, so before we go into that, Peter, additional voluntary contribution. So this is one side. We are going to invest some money. Aside investing some money, we're going to be keeping some money aside the bank, and that's what additional voluntary contribution does for us. How do we go about it? Right? Please, Peter, let us know.
Thank you, Moyo. For AVC, which is additional voluntary contribution, is actually very simple. All you need to do to start off is to just give instruction to your payroll officer or your HR, depending on which one is applicable, to say, okay, every month I want to start contributing XYZ percent as extra into my pension account. So that extra percentage you are contributing will be captured on your schedule. By the time payments are being made on a monthly basis, we have what we call the schedule of contribution. The HRO team or the finance person or the person in charge of your pension remittance will actually clearly state which portion of your pension contribution is mandatory and which portion is actually voluntary. So getting this advice, we are going to clearly process based on that particular position. And of course, like I said earlier on, it's flexible. You can determine any amount of money you want to contribute. You can increase it as time goes by. If you have any financial commitments, you can, reduce it. You can put in your bulk payments, your, performance bonus, your, profit share into your AVC. You enjoy some good level of tax rebates, which is also an indirect way of saving on your tax implications, so to speak. So that is actually how it's structured. Another area that might also be of interest to our audience is to say, how do I assess my AVC? If there is need for me to want to assess that aspect of contingent. So what we have done in Leadway Pension is to ensure that we give room for convenience. We really do not want to stress our customers, and based on that, on our mobile app, we can actually access your AVC. You can apply for it. So what is actually required is just upload the required documents, and they are very basic documents, just letter from you requesting that you want to access your AVC, passport photograph, your preferred bank account, whether you give us your bank confirmation or if it's a current account, a photocopy of your check leaf. You upload this through the mobile app. I will receive it at the back end in our office and we'll process accordingly. Our turnaround time right now in terms of benefit payments is one of the best in the pension industry. So in no time, you can be rest assured that your accounts will be credited. And also, very, very importantly, if you feel you want to, you're not that techie, you don't go through the stress of the techie arrangement we have, you can walk into any of our offices. We have our offices scattered virtually in every part of the country. So anywhere you are, you can be rest assured that there's a Leadway Pension office that is actually close by. Thank you.
Okay, so we've heard it from Peter. There is the Leadway Pension app. It makes this process easy. But right now, I'm in the middle of sending a message to my HR to say, please, excuse ma, I want to do additional voluntary contribution. Let's start the process. So I expect everybody else is doing this. But while we're doing it, we want to take questions. Are there things you want to ask this gentleman personally that I have not asked? Are there areas you think should be covered that I have not covered? So questions, comments, please, people, send them while we all take time. We all, people like me, take time to send message to our HR to say, please, let's talk about additional voluntary contribution. And then start following lead with assurance, because I'm going to be the first person to call and say, I want to do that mutual funds thing that Collins spoke about. So let's get on with that. And please, I would like to take your questions. I would like to hear what you think, your comments, let's start taking that right now. So I'm trying to check if there are questions or comments.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a pop-up question here.
Okay.
There's a pop-up question here that says, how much will one need to invest when your salary is at a range of 60 to 70,000? Well, in truth, let's even say your salary is 70,000. You could have been earning 50,000, and you will not die. We understand that things are expensive. The country is tough, and we do not shy away from these realities as a company, as Leadway, as Leadway. However, you have a future to protect. Now, in a 70,000 naira salary, I've seen people who have wife and 3 kids, and they still survive. So if you're an individual who is not married, just saying, or even if you're married, at least set aside 10 to 20,000 naira, not because you want to eat it, but because tomorrow you are able to put together those funds. Those funds can become something that you can build on. Because yes, while you are investing with us, The money may not necessarily be with us in perpetuity, because you are trying to work towards a goal of, say, in a year, like Moyo said, invest 20,000 every month. You earn an interest from it every month. At the end of the year, you have invested 240,000 naira with interest. That 240,000 naira, from day one, you're already discussing with us, these are the type of business, this is the kind of business I want to go into on the side. Maybe I use my weekends for, or something. So that is very essential in keeping you going. If you decide that in this 20,000 naira, I want to use 10,000 naira in dollars, 10,000 naira, leave it in naira, it's still okay. It's fine. So all of these things are relative. There's no one size that fits all, but you need to be able to work towards a goal. How this helps is that at the end of every month, you need to draw up a budget. A budget is very essential to help you stick to your goals. But if you don't have a budget, you may constantly sway away from achieving these goals. So these are my approach to doing things.
Okay, thank you, Elumelu Hope, for that. Elumelu, I saw you wrote "What a gem." I'm sure you're referring to me. I know I'm such a gem. Yeah. So somebody is asking, is there an age limit to investing with Leadway? No, there's no age limit. Everybody, we welcome please come with your money. Everybody is welcome here, right? Our doors are open. And then Collins, I think you should take this one. Somebody is asking about diaspora. What about those in diaspora? Before Collins takes it, Peter, I know that there's a Leadway pension plan for people in diaspora. So please talk about that, and then Collins will now talk about investing for people in diaspora as well.
All right, thank you, Moyo. So for the plan, which is called the cross-border arrangements, basically, is actually meant for Nigerians working abroad. We're saying that based on the regulation put in place by PENCOM, they can actually start sending their pension contributions down here. But such funds has to be traceable. They must actually be in a very regular and structured employment, because we'll be requesting some documentation from their current employer over there for us to be able to, ascertain their source of income. The fund has to be, by the time the fund is going to be transferred, it will be in naira denominated, instruments using the prevailing exchange rates. So it's not, because for pension funds are actually not invested in any foreign instrument. So basically, for the pension investments, all funds in the pension scheme are actually invested in naira instruments. So once the funds are coming in, they are going to be converted using the prevailing exchange rates, and based on that, the funds will be credited into the account. They need to be registered under the pension scheme. They'll require to have their national identification number. We have NIPSI office scattered across different countries right now. Once they have their NIN, we can actually get the registration done virtually, or probably link them up with our representative outside. If it's in the UK, we actually have someone that is actually interfacing with our customers there that can make this registration seamless. Once we're able to register them and they have their PIN, through the PIN, yes, their pension funds can be processed into their accounts with us right here in Nigeria. And on a regular basis, they can get updates in regards to how much has been transferred, how much they have in their account, and this they can track through different platforms. We have our mobile app. We also have our chatbot, which is called Lisa, which is Leadway Pension Instant Service Assistant, which they can of course use through WhatsApp or Telegram. They can also check through our website to get their account updates. And also we have self SMS service platforms where they can also leverage on different applications to be able to be kept abreast of the happenings in their pension accounts.
Okay, thank you, Peter Collins. People in diaspora, my Jackpot brothers and sisters, what do we have for them?
Okay, thank you. So, I'll quickly pick a few questions here that popped up as well. It says, "What's the return on investment for Naira investments?" I said here is it's between we should be able to earn between 5 and 7%, and it could be more. For dollar investments, you should be able to earn between 4 and 6%, and it could be more. Now, for people in the diaspora, what we're able to do for you is that you're able to invest. The truth is that if you invest, I know that the interest rate in North America is around 0.1% or 0.2% at best. Now interest rate has even increased. The best you can get around town is 0.5%, except you're investing in the equity market or exchange traded funds. But here you are able to move those funds into our Citibank account, and we can invest in mutual funds on your behalf. For someone who said that what percentage of his salary is he meant to invest? Typically, the rule of thumb says that a minimum of 10% is what you are able to invest. A minimum of 10%, no matter how terrible your responsibilities are. It still doesn't limit you from investing more if you do not have needs that are pressing at this time. The truth is that you must be able to there's a rule of thumb that also says that if you lose your job today, a salary that is able or a savings that is able to take you for the next 6 months to 1 year is what you must have. So do you have that? That's very key to survival instinct. So yeah, so basically that's all the questions I have seen so thus far, both on the list. But I can see a direct question here that says, "What's the first step on starting an AVC?" I guess Peter, that's for you.
All right, thank you, Collins. The first step, I think, is for you to be able to look at your financial status, look at your monthly flow in terms of your finances, your income, and look at how much you can part away with comfortably on a monthly basis, and also look at define your financial goals. What exactly do you want to achieve? And based on your current pension status, look at the point of retirement, how much do you think you'll be worth? Okay, if you are retiring in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, okay, and look at your current lifestyle, look at in the future at the point of retirement, will what you have right now be able to sustain you to maintain the same lifestyle? Or what are your aspirations at the point of retirement? Are you the person that probably you want to go on vacation, want to be able to set up one or two businesses at that point? Okay, so this will be a guide, and having that guide will enable you to know how much you should start parting with on a monthly basis. And like I said earlier, for us in Leadway Pension, we have what we call the lifestyle calculator, SureCal, which can guide you to be able to know that, okay, this is how much in terms of projection and simulation that you should start parting with. And once you're able to ascertain that figure, then you can, of course, get in touch with your HR person or the person in charge of your pension remittances for them to start deducting that sum on a monthly basis. And at some point, if you think, okay, there are some pressing needs, you can't continue with these things, you can adjust, you can tweak this. It's totally flexible. So it's not actually, a fixed amount, that you have to, commit yourself to. Even where we expect and we advise that, yes, you make it consistent. We will also understand the fact that, yes, there might be some emergency development that will come up, and then that might actually, slow the condition down. So whenever you are settled, you can pick it up again from there at no penalty. That's the beauty of AVC. You're not paying any penalty for reducing the amount. You're not paying any penalty for even stopping at some point to continue. No penalty for increasing it. So it is absolutely flexible. And, the returns on investments is still the same as the mandatory contribution. And you're also reducing your tax implication legitimately. Is actually a fantastic product. I think everybody should key into. Collins was speaking about people trying to when someone asks about how much should we contribute. I thought about the peak of the COVID-19 when a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of companies slashed salaries, downsized. But guess what? We all survived it. Those guys that their salaries were slashed survived. They blended and amended their circumstances to the pace of their salary, and they picked up. But the truth is, if some things will happen, we don't really get to see that we can adjust ourselves to be able to make those savings. So financial discipline is very, very key. We have to be financially disciplined so that we can enhance our savings and achieve a better retirement in the future. Thank you.
You, Moyo, we can't hear you. I think you're muted. Moyo, you're muted.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so I said we're just going to take a few comments. So Adebola agrees with Peter, and he says that essentially discipline is a key element when it comes to setting aside savings for your salary. Mr. Zakwai, you will have 1.5 million. Don't say it's in the open, but yes, for information as to what you will get and how to start your process, please go to www.leadway.com/call-me. leadway.com/call-me. And then somebody is there right now. The person will take your message and connect you with the right person that will help you sort everything out. So thank you everyone for joining us. It was such a wonderful and very insightful time talking money, talking growing wealth using our 9 to 5. So to round up, I'm going to say Leadway Asset Management will assist you in building and sustaining generational wealth. So you build your wealth, and then if you come from, then that wealth will be sustained from one generation to the next. And with their investment plan, you can grow your money over time. So for more information, you want to talk to somebody from Leadway Asset Management, please leadway.com/call-me. For Leadway Pension PFA, we have pension solutions that will ensure that you get the best out of life and you live the rest of your life in comfort. I mean, you retire and you live in comfort. And with Shocal, I mean, you can calculate and know what the future is going to be like and how much additional voluntary contribution you have to make. And for additional voluntary contribution, you can use it for two things. You can use it to live a more comfortable life in future. And aside that, if you can keep a dedicated amount of money there for 2 years, you can take half of it and start your investment journey and just take that money and go over to asset management where they will grow that sum of money for you over time. To reach us at Leadway Pension PFA, please send a DM to @Leadway Pension on all social media platforms. Thank you for joining us. My name is Moyosoreoluwa. I head the Brands and Corporate Communications Unit for Leadway Pension PFA. And speaking with us today, we have Peter OLAWOLE, a seasoned salesman. He's the head, the regional head for Lagos Sales Department, and Collins. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for having us. Collins, do you have any last word? Collins is the head of institutional sales for Leadway Asset Management. Collins, last word from you, and afterward we'll take the last word from Peter and we'll round it up. Thank you everyone again for joining. It was a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you. I'll say to everyone, every night, well done. The country is what it is. We are saying well done to you. And we believe that whichever level you are, we can work with you to achieve your goals. Feel free to talk to us, irrespective. We'll be able to lead you to your desired goals, in financial goals especially. Thank you.
Peter, last word to everybody.
All right, thank you, Moyo, thank you, everyone. Last word for me. Two options. I hope we'll take the first. We have the option of one pain of discipline or pain of regret. Pain of discipline is speaking to the fact that yes, there are some luxuries of life that we want to achieve, but we need to be financially disciplined, be conservative, use AVC to augment your retirement savings account so that in future, when you grow old, you can live a comfortable life. Pain of regret is continue to, wish after the luxury of this world and save less. And at that point, when you grow old, realize that you have little or nothing to fall back to. I strongly advise us that we are financially disciplined, tap into all these opportunities of investment, and I can assure you that you live a beautiful life at retirement. Thank you.
Okay, Olamilekan Babalola. Every time is a good time to invest. There are no investment cycles. I mean, we have professionals that they've planned the whole thing. Anytime is a good time. So just come with your money. Elumelu Hope, thank you. We're expecting you. We're going to be looking out for your name. To end this lovely, lovely session, we have a skit from Mr. Macaroni. He basically tells us why we should keep our money and our future with Libya Pensions PFA. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for chatting with us. Thank you for learning with us. Until next time, do have a lovely day.
Arole! You are doing well. Yes, I brought this boy to you. He's not serious. He's not doing well. He's just playing. He's using his life to play kite. So I want you to check his future for him, so that if he should see it with his own eyes, he will buckle up. He will hold his life seriously.
His future is secure, though. Even his glory is fuba. You mean logo? This is my glory. Ogomina. This is my glory.
You are doing well, my dear. I always believed in him. I always knew that his life is secure. Thank you. Oh, yeah, let's go.
Don't let us go. Don't let us go.
Why is that, please?
I want him to please check your own too.
Oh, serious? Ogoda want to catapult,
Very good. That's it. Because from your own catapult to Ogona, I can even decide to tap from me.
As you are even talking, I'm already typing.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Careful, Lord. They have hacked his future. Is this his glory? Oh, Slim, come back.
Are you Nama? Give me what to me, that's rubbish. You want to forget, do you know what you are doing with glory? Look at this bombastic. I'm sure they did not call you. You call yourself. My friend, you stand up. Let's go and get out of there.
Thank you. Thank you, Moya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
I think this session has ended. I think Michael has ended this session. Nice work,
Okay.
Nice work, everyone. Moya, have you frozen?